Had extreme trauma which was buried deep on the inside. When I first met her, she was 26. She was on a lifetime disability pension. She was in constant pain, unable to walk more than 25 yards without having to stop for the pain to subside. She was thinking, what's the point of living? No one's going to want to marry me. I'll never have any children, never have any grandchildren. And she had virtually given up. And well, the first thing I asked her, I said, well, would you like us to pray for you? You know, she said no. She said, I don't want to find out again that God doesn't answer prayer. She was one of these people who had been prayed for many times for the physical condition. She had fallen off a cliff 3 years previously, and her back had been broken in 4 places. She'd been lay there for 10.5 hours before a helicopter lifted her out of a ravine in the Blue Mountains of Australia. And the doctors did everything they possibly could for her. But 3 years down the line, she was in constant pain, suicidal, no hope. And my wife and I began to talk to her over lunch about how trauma locks us into the experience of the past. And in her mind, she was still locked into that place of lying at the foot of the cliff, back broken, in pain. And when we began to pray for her, when she eventually agreed to prayer, because she understood now what was going on, the Spirit of God came upon her. She had to forgive. She had to forgive the man who had led her along that path without warning her of the ravine. That was a major issue, because he's ruined her life.
Of course.
And so she forgave him. And as she forgave, and the Spirit of God came upon her, we anointed her with oil to healing, and God healed that inner trauma. And we watched supernaturally, totally supernaturally, no one touching her, as the Spirit of God stretched her back out. Her back was arching that way and then that way. Her legs were being pulled out, and there were doctors watching, physiotherapists, and they said she's having traction, as if her legs were being stretched out, but by angels. And she then stood up at the end of 20 minutes of watching what God did, and her back was complete.